Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Two Clicks from KO. I'm your host, Aaron, and today I'm going to talk to you about some HeroClix and a lot of other stuff. So, a lot of you guys have been wondering where the show's been, what's going on, and so I'm going to talk to you guys about that, give an update on the show. We're going to talk about some events, both past and future, and just some general HeroClix discussion. So, I guess where we'll start is update of the show. I like to do these at the beginning of the year, anyways. Kind of give you a direction of the show and talk about what our goals are and things of the sort and the status, current status, etc. So as you may know if you follow the Facebook page, Aries is no longer a co-host of the show. It's nothing hard feelings or anything like that. We haven't really talked about it, but I think he just kind of wanted to do his own thing and maybe didn't really like the way the interaction with the show, and so that's fine. We're still good, everything like that. So that being said, I decided to go back to the previous format that we had before Aries came on permanently, and just have myself do the show as the main host and have a lot of guest spots and things like that coming in. And the reason for that is it's just like a little bit easier to be consistent with the show and everything going on with it, because the more people involved, the harder it is to schedule. So when you have a regular co-host, it's okay, what's our schedule? And then if you want to have a guest, it's okay, our schedule, and now this third or fourth person to get in the show. And it's just a lot to coordinate, and it can be counterproductive at times. That being said, I talked to AJ, and if you pay attention to our blog spot on WordPress, you'll know that he's working on opening his schedule, and the plan is to have him on the show more often as not quite a permanent co-host, but he is a major part of the show, both doing the blog and posting stuff to the Facebook page and things like that. And a lot of people follow the Facebook page just for information, if not for the show and articles and stuff. So we're looking at that. So be looking forward to that. So where has the show been? So with Aries leaving the show, I figured it would be a good time to take a break, because I'm having, I don't want to get into a lot of details, but I have some kind of changes in my personal life and my work life that I'm working through right now. And so I don't really want to give a lot of details on that until it's set, but I'm good, everything's good, I'll be okay, so don't worry about that if you're stressed or whatever. But that being said, there's going to be some changes to my work. There's going to be some which would change my hours and things of the sort, so I will need to figure out new times to record, new times to find time to go play. I think I would still have the weekends off no matter what, so I think that's fine. So just might move to do a lot more of my stuff on the weekends. But that being said, there will be some changes coming up. So in the immediate future, it might be a little bit inconsistent still. But my goal for the year is to go back to minimum a show every other week. And if possible, we would have that. We'd have the blog one week, the show the next week, the blog the one week, the show the next week. It's not always going to line up that way, but if we can, that'd be nice. We'll still be doing, as far as I know, previews for WizKids. If you saw our Captain America and the Avengers previews, those will go up on the blog site just like normal. If you didn't see before, the last YouTube video that we put up was actually an early unboxing, sponsored by WizKids. They sent us, they were very kind, to send us a Captain America and the Avengers brick that we opened. Had some fantastic pools in that. I got my brother and my nephew involved, and that was we had actually a lot of fun. Um, so we're still trying to put content out there as much as we can. AJ and I will both start writing more regularly on the article on the blog. And I think what I want to do is start utilizing the YouTube platform a lot more, because the Podbean platform actually does cost me money, and I'm currently looking for alternatives to it, without losing all of my episodes that I have in my backlog. Quite a bit in. So, yeah, those are the major updates for the show. Um, I hope you guys aren't disappointed or upset, but we do put a lot of effort into the show, and it is a lot of hard work, and it does cost me time and money, as well as AJ and whoever else has helped out in the past, Jay, Aries, Brandon from the very beginning. So, I just want to be appreciative of those guys and of everybody who's contributed, and to you guys, the listeners who care. So, that being said, like I said, I wanted to start utilizing YouTube a lot more. You can see I'm kind of playing around with the visuals of the show. This is just a rough sketch, kind of something you can maybe expect moving forward. I'm still kind of working on it, on a final product, and so you'll be seeing some changes here and there about that too. So I hopefully everything that happens with the show this year you guys like, and if you don't like it, I'm open to feedback. If you do like it, I'm also open to that feedback, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. So, all right, let's move on. I hope that answers anything you guys want to know. If not, again, feel free to write in or comment on the YouTube, or I read every YouTube comment that you guys put. So don't feel shy to comment. So you can comment on YouTube, you can comment on Facebook, and if you guys, or you can write in the show, or if you're friends with me on Facebook, you can write me personally, and I'm happy to answer any questions. All right. So moving forward, if you guys follow the Facebook page, you'll know I attended a couple events this weekend. Saturday, I went to went to the Majestics trial in Bakersfield, and for those of you who aren't familiar, here's the format for that event. So it's 300 point Bronze Age. Any set with an Oreo base is legal. Everything in between except Star Trek ships. Spells and traps are not legal. Horde tokens are not legal. Only print and play allowed are ATAs. There is a ban list. The ban list is Orange Power Battery, all team bases, Felix Faust. That would be the Con LE Felix Faust. Copycat, Resurrection Man, Justin Seifert, Morphing Jar, the Book of the Skull Resource Dial, Black Swan, Omega Drive, and Legion from X-Men Dark Phoenix Saga, the title character. So you can see there also here there's a list of trials. These are all pretty much done and for January, but they do have the February events up there. So it's Orcs Lair in Youngstown, Arizona, Majestics in Santa Ana, California, another one at Orcs Lair, and then the Best There Is games in Roseville, and those will all lead up to the Clicks Collective 1K event. It's not that one won't be a trial. That one will be the actual 1K that all of these feed into, I believe. And so if you're looking forward to that event, or you're anywhere near those, please go check them out. I know I went and played. I had a lot of fun in the event. My team was a Nimrod team. Kind of went last minute, so I was a little unprepared. And the team, it was, I put a lot of thought into it, but it was still kind of haphazardly built. So I know a few adjustments I can maybe make, but most of the adjustments I would need to make would be to play style, not necessarily the actual team. So check that out. Excuse me, take a drink. But yeah, so Bakersfield is about an hour and 45 minutes from where I live. Paladin's Game Castle. Armando Ramirez was the host. Great. He always throws great events. Always have fun going. We started the event at 11. Yeah, registration was 10. Event started 11. We did 3 rounds. There was 11 players, so we did 3 rounds with the top 4 top cut. I ended up going 2-1 in the Swiss portion, and placing 5th by 200 points. I had lost to Steve, which I lost 5-4. So that was kind of a funny game. We played the game. It just ended up being 5-4. My gamma bomb went off, exploded, destroyed his what is it called? Spider Slayer, Mini Slayer object, which scored me 4 points. And I had a couple of his characters pretty far down. He had really not touched any of my characters, but just ended up being 5-4. And let's see here. So yeah, I played Alyssa McNeil. She played a Mojo team, really cool Mojo team. Mojo, he portals around the map, and so she can portal him over after collecting some board tokens, which she uses the Fast Forces Penguin to do. So she takes like Tribbles and the Yafit or something like that. It's called from the oh gosh, Dr. Claire Finn figure from whatever that Fast Forces is. I forget the Orville. Gosh, I keep wanting to say Ozark. But the Orville Fast Forces and all these things have 0 attacks, so they miss the Fast Forces Penguin for the loyalty token. That's like a guaranteed miss. And so she just stacks board tokens, probably 4 or 5 board tokens on Mojo a turn. At least 3. And then Mojo can use those to teleport over, call an ID card, kill something, and teleport back. So she was my first round opponent. So she came over, she killed Split Lip with the Storm ID or Bounty card, either one. Teleports back with the Spotlight from Streets of Gotham. So I'm down 20-5, 20-7 because she burned a ring on her power plant to do it. And then so she teleports over, takes a shot at Bizarro Green Arrow with her Elseworlds Green Arrow, and she burns a ring to put him to 6 damage, but I think she forgot that I can minus 2 damage. So I minus 2 damage, so that doesn't kill me, and it puts me towards the end of my dial, but I have the Nurse construct for regen, so now her Mojo is double tokened, and he doesn't have Colossal Stamina. So I just go ahead and regen with Bizarre Green Arrow, and then I take him over to my power battery in order to heal up some more and kind of stay a little bit safer with some positioning. Eventually, my Gamma Bomb goes off, and it kills about 45 or 50 points worth of stuff on her team. And by the end of the game, she had used 4 ID cards and burned 5 rings for an extra 30 points. And she did eventually kill my Bizarre Green Arrow with some clever use of the Impact Beam and some knockback due to some misplacement on my part. But I still won the game when time was called 87-78, thanks to my Gamma Bomb. And I actually didn't even need to attack that game. I called an Iceman on my last round because I was already up in points and it didn't really matter. But I did have a chance to actually kill Mojo with 1 shot with all the perplexes I had. So because he had taken a little bit of damage, but I missed. So I got only a little bit of points. I played Steve and his Construct team. Steve, again, he played kind of conservatively. He kind of knew that he would be up in points if my Gamma Bomb went off. But I in that game I needed to play, and probably the game against Alyssa also. I needed to play a little bit more aggressive, um, because I can't just count on my Gamma Bomb getting 80 points a game. It doesn't really work that way. Uh, that being said, the team's really hard to attack. You can kill Split Lip pretty easily, probably. But outside of that, it's really tough to attack the team effectively, where you can get all of the knockouts that you need. You have to have like a very specific set of tools in order to do it. And you know, Alyssa had exactly what she needed to kill Bizarre Green Arrow, and nobody else really did that I played. And then the last round of the game, I played or the tournament, I played Anthony Zimmerly, and his team was Starro at 20 points, Ellie Storm at 150, and Q, the regular Q Super Rare at 125, I believe. And eventually, I was able to get through Q's defenses, hit him, hit Storm really hard in the same turn, and that game was just really over kind of quickly. Then Anthony he was down anyways, and so he ended up needing to leave early, so he ended up forfeiting that game for 300 or 295 to 0 win for me. So that gave me the majority of my points. Like I said, I ended up 2-1, and in my opinion, barely missing top cut. Steve had a very close game with Alyssa, and had he lost that game, I would have been in the top cut and not him. And there was a couple other games that really came down to time from other players, and so I could have possibly went in the top cut at 2-1, but I also feel that I should have just won all of my games if I had played a little bit better, and my opponents all played really well. So congrats to them. Steve DeCarlo ended up being the winner. Steve's team was the Mr. Sinister Construct figure, Sabretooth Construct figure, Mini Shredder, Ellie Lockjaw with the 6 Infinity tokens, Red Battery for Poison, and some ID cards. I didn't really get a chance to use them. He had a Symbiote equipment, and he had the Mini Slayer equipment. He didn't really use the Mini Slayer Symbiote. He rolled one shape change against me successfully, and I think that's it. He never was able to get poison on me because my team is really tough to lock down, especially if I can pick up the Cosmic Control Rod early, which I did in that game against Steve with Nimrod. So then he can't outwit my powers, and so Nimrod obviously has top down phasing, so he can get where he needs to go, and he can carry one figure with him. I was able to use some construct swapping, putting a stop sign on Split Lip, so he couldn't just lock me down with plasticity. That had an even breakaway roll. And if not, I was going to work towards a catapult on my battery and TK him out of there, or else the other thing I was doing was locking down his figures with barrier, because we were on an indoor map, I believe. And so, gosh, were we on an indoor map? Yeah, we were. And then Lockjaw doesn't fly anyways, so I would just put barrier around him. So then it's he has to pick phasing if he wants to get through it. And if he picks phasing, he might roll a 6. If he rolls a 6, I can just in-cap him to kill him. And so it was always tough for Steve to maneuver. And that's why we kind of had a grinding game. I had put 5 damage on Mini. I had put, I think, 3 or 4 clicks into Sabretooth. And so I was really close to knocking out both of those, but I just played a little bit too indecisively. Steve went on to win the event, went undefeated all the way. So congrats to Steve on his win. Steve's a phenomenal player, man. He's really good. He plays very often. He plays a lot of these events, and there's a lot to be said for consistency, and then just activity also. So I haven't been active, so I was pretty happy with how I did. But that being said, if I could be a little bit more active, I think I would do better. After the event, played a battle royale pre-release with the new set, and played with Songbird. I played against some just different figures. Kind of got ganged up on by two brothers, which is fine. It was just for fun, anyways. It wasn't. We were just keeping what we pulled, so it wasn't like a. I wasn't gonna lose anything if I lost, so it was fine. And they were kind of newer players, so it was pretty fun to kind of help them maximize their output on their positioning and things like that. So we had a good time. There was another battle royale play at the same time, and there was a War Machine Prime and a Ultron pulled in that battle royale, and they were playing Snake Draft. So, but it just ended up working out that everybody got to keep what they pulled in that battle royale. So, just how the points worked out. So that was a good time. Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, we went to pre-release here at Hobbytown in Fresno, and we played 300 point sealed format with two boosters. I was fortunate enough to pull the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider chase, although it was a little, if you saw the Facebook video, it was a little bit busted. His foot was just barely hanging on, or else he would have just been totally off the base. Luckily for me, it's a hobby store, and they do models and stuff like that. So I went and bought some glue in the store and just glued it back together. And I was able to get that done before the event even started. So it was pretty nice and firm to play with. Saw a lot of older players return to the game. I think the new set with the Immortal Hulk and things like that brought a lot of excitement back. Aaron Ramirez, one of the other Aarons here, he came back. My friends Diego and Carmel came back to play. So we had, I believe, 13 or 15 players in our pre-release. So that was one of the biggest in a long time. It was a lot of fun. I played against my friend Diego, who hasn't played in over a year, and he actually beat me. So that was like a really. He pulled Blade, and I pulled Ghost Rider, and Blade kind of completely counteracts Ghost Rider. So it was kind of funny in that way. And if you saw it, I went in to go try and hit him as hard as I could with my opening attack and missed. And so he kind of made me pay for it. So that was a lot of fun. I ended up playing against my nephew Ernie. And Ernie pulled. What did he pull? He had a few shield guys, and his pulls were a little bit underwhelming. He pulled the rare Thor, who to his credit, he played really well. But I think with the tools that I had, and then I won map roll, so I got to go first and move up in a way where I'd be able to attack first. He played really well, but I think my team was just a little bit better than his. And my dice were a little bit better than his. He missed almost every attack roll that he made. Although he did end up taking out, I think, two of my figures. So, pretty good to him. Overall, that's the fourth or fifth time I played with this set, because we played a couple games with the unboxing figures that I got. And overall, I'm really impressed with this set. It's sneaky good. I think there's a lot of figures in the set that are good that people don't realize are good, like the shield guys that can copy a power or be placed whenever a shield guy moves. There's stuff that's obviously good, like the Immortal Hulk or the Steve Rogers. They can turn characters into shield or Avengers. I think there's just overall like a lot of really good stuff in this set. I even in the battle royale I played Spy Master, who gives spies +1 defense in hindering terrain on top of what they already get. So that's pretty phenomenal, having like a 19 defense on like a 30-point spy, and who has stealth, and if you can see through stealth, I still get an 18 defense, or see through hindering, still get an 18 defense. That's pretty relevant. So we played that event, and then we did other sealed, a little bit sealed like battle royales and stuff afterwards. And my friend Randy, he pulled Ultron, and he paid for our buddy Lyle to play, and Lyle pulled a Doctor Strange. So Randy made out like a bandit, and then he won freaking 2 squares on my Super Bowl pool. So Randy was super lucky yesterday. So congrats to him. It was a lot of fun, man. I think this set it's gonna be interesting with WizKids Open starting, I believe, this weekend. It's gonna be interesting seeing what stuff from the new set. And the new set won't be legal this weekend, but the following weekend. So it'll be interesting seeing what teams people come up with from the new stuff. I expect to see a lot of Immortal Hulk. I expect to see a lot of Steve Rogers, especially with Vulture. Um, I expect to see what else is good. Quake. I know a lot of people are sleeping on Quake. A lot of people really like that figure, and I think that she could do really well. That charge and their range Quake, with pinpoint accuracy without really needing line of fire is like pretty good. Minotaurs are pretty good, especially the one that takes away location bonuses. Some teams are built solely on location bonus, like Black Panther type teams. They're gonna rely on having that reroll on their Wakanda map and things of the sort, and so I think Minotaur could actually be a good play. Um, I think Steve Rogers welcoming things like Triple H or Finn. I don't think he can do Finn, but he can welcome like Triple H to add Empower to Medusa teams, for Avengers. That'd be pretty good. I think Avengers teams with Medusa are already like a little bit underestimated and pretty good. So giving them an extra damage output would be, and while staying theme, could be super relevant. Um, Immortal Hulk will see a lot of play. I think. I don't expect him to win a lot of events, but I think him getting play is pretty likely. So, and speaking of WizKids Opens, I have a WizKids Open that I will be running at Hobbytown in Fresno, California on February 29th. Registration starts at 9:30 and then first round will start at 10:30 sharp. It's a hard start time for first round. I keep people to that. You can enter late if you come late, but you will receive a first round loss. And the reason I do that is because if you wait around on people all day and keep them long, the event runs long, and people get kind of stir crazy in the beginning, and B, the store is already taking the time and space to have us there, and I think making them go long because I waited for people to show up is kind of like rude, especially when they're hosting so graciously. So we will be running that. There will be battle royales. Battle royales will not start until after the first round. At least until after the first round is well underway. So I would imagine around 11 o'clock battle royales. So if you want to come and have a chance at some battle royales, you're welcome to do so, but understand they will not start until after 11, and so don't show up at 9:30 wanting to get a battle royale started. We should have plenty of Captain America and Avengers in stock for that event for the battle royales, so you will have a chance to keep what you win some cool new stuff. They'll be done snake draft just like battle royales are always done. And one thing I want to say about battle royales that people don't really follow sometimes, sorry, is that when you play in a battle royale, while you are buying a booster, you're not really buying a booster. You're buying an entry, so you're agreeing that you may not keep what you pull in that event, and that someone else might get the figure you pull. So don't think that you're gonna come in, open up an Ultron chase, and then like just walk out, because the way that I see it, you paid for a battle royale, and you'll be, if you do not finish the battle royale and you try to leave early, you'll be taking stolen property. So I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think it's kind of the agreement that you're making when you decide to play in the battle royale. So I hope anybody can make it. We always have fun. I know there's a couple other stores running conflicting events, but I think that the chance to win a regional and participate in, I believe, the national championship for HeroClix. If you win one of these, is like a good prize, and then on top of that, you get the Con Le figures. You get the Howard the Duck Deadpool figure, and there's the stack of tires and the barrel, and those are both like really good objects. So I do think that the pricing is well worth showing up for. So I hope to see everyone there. Sorry, my throat was getting dry. So that being said, I'm gonna move over to the Facebook page. I do have a couple questions for the show, and we're gonna get them answered. So, oops, I had it pulled up. I guess I unpulled it up. Let me find it. So the first question is gonna come from McConnell Lamar. It says, can I talk about the AIM keyword and its competitive viability in the modern age format? So that's a good question, and I think there's a good reason for asking it. There is a lot of AIM in the upcoming Captain America set, and Red Skull is always a good AIM figure, right? But I think some of the better figures are actually from the Black Panther and the Illuminati set, like the Red Skull Chase. So here locally, we had a guy, Ray, and he made it all the way to the finals of our last WKO with the AIM team, using Red Skull and the AIM agents, AIM blue, red, and white. And I think adding new figures from Captain America and the Avengers is pretty good. There's the Red Skull with the Power Elite trait in the new set that I think is fantastic. I had a chance to play him a couple of times, including the pre-release, and I think he's just really good. Power Elite, like making your power actions a double power action, it works well against things like Immortal Hulk, who gets the charge at no cost, or charge as a free action instead of power action. So because it becomes a double power action, they can't do it for free. There's, let's see here, Industrial Spy, which is a good figure, good support figure. Has outwit and can steal powers. Dario Agger has AIM, who turns into one of the Minotaurs, who's like really good. The uncommon Minotaur. Spy Master, who I talked about a little bit earlier. The uncommon Minotaur, who gets either Mystics or Prob when he comes in. Red Skull, who I talked about earlier. The new Taskmaster, he's got AIM, but I don't really think he's like worth playing. Fixer, Songbird, 30-point Pulse Wave could be good, but I don't know. I think the better AIM figures are already out from previous sets, so I think AIM competitive teams will just look a lot similar to what we already saw before Captain America and the Avengers. Jeff Bozeman writes in, he says, thanks for the continued positive, fan-friendly show that you've put out for us all over the years. Well, you're welcome. Thanks for listening. With the 3 upcoming sets, JLU, Fantastic Four, and Absolute Carnage, I found myself now working a second job to help absorb some of the very near costs I will be incurring. Have you ever done something to this effect, like working a second job to help get more clicks? Well, yeah, no. I've volunteered and helped out at stores in order to get HeroClix like more cheaply. What is that? I've sold stuff on the side to get extra money to pay for HeroClix. That's a pretty common thing. Sell your old stuff to get new stuff, right? That being said, yeah, it's a lot of stuff, man, and anymore it feels like you got to get to the point where you kind of have to decide what HeroClix you want, and really kind of just decide where you want to invest your dollars. luckily for me, I was able to get a brick from WizKids of this new set, and in that brick, I got actually a lot of what I wanted from the set, and then what I didn't get in that brick, I ended up with at pre-release, and with the exception of some chases and a couple super rares. So there's not a lot from the set that I'm looking that I need to get, but also I haven't been playing as competitive lately, so I don't really feel this strong need to have as much as I used to. It used to be, I gotta have this because I live in a small town and I didn't have an opportunity to borrow a lot of figures. So if me or my brother at the time we didn't have it, then we couldn't play it, and so since I'm not playing as competitively and traveling as much, although I did just recently this past weekend. I don't feel like I need to have those competitive figures, so I'm able to just kind of be happy with what I got and just buy a little bit here and there. And also on top of that, in the last 2 years, I've bought a house, and so I've absorbed more cost in my everyday life other than clicks. So, and then we've picked up Pokemon with my son. My son and I, we've been playing pretty competitively Pokemon, so a lot of our extra dollars do go there instead of HeroClix. And I find myself even selling HeroClix to buy Pokemon sometimes, so it's kind of funny how that goes. That being said, I do sympathize with people who feel like they need to have everything and they're completionists. And what I would just say is just try and do the best trades you can do. I wouldn't get too attached to anything at all during pre-release. And if you pull a chase during pre-release, chances are you can sell it, buy the figure, wait, don't spend that money, buy the figures that you really, really want from the set later on after the full release, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the full release, for way cheaper, and you'll get more bang for your buck. And then even then, you can probably get that chase back at a lower cost. The exception being things like Ultron, Peggy Carter. Peggy, I think Peggy will drop in price, but Ultron, I don't think will drop too far in price. I foresee him staying around $100 for a while, because he is a fan favorite character as well as very competitive. I won't say very competitive, but decently competitive. I'm not in the sky is falling group with the Ultron the way that a lot of people are, and so I think you just kind of got to be smart and think of things more as like an investment rather than a full on, I gotta have it now. So yeah, let's see here. I know we always have some questions from Malcolm writing in. I think we have a pretty good amount of time still to answer these questions. But I do want to talk about a Design Insight article that WizKids put out recently, and see about getting to that. So let's see here. Oops. Trying to get to the most recent questions. Okay. So Malcolm sent in some questions about politics and HeroClix. He says best, worst, and favorite characters with politician keyword or has a leadership in their dial. I think best and worst at the same time is President Lex Luthor. I love that figure. He's the consummate politician with the his whole dial centered around being president is kind of funny. And he's such a bad guy, right? And he's not the greatest figure, but he does a good job of reflecting on the dial. And then my favorite with the politician keyword, I guess Nighthawk Prime. I think he's a politician, so probably that one. But he's probably also the best. Best, worst, and favorite HeroClix sculpture as politician keyword or leadership in their dial. Again, the President Lex has fantastic sculpt for what he does. What HeroClix characters is missing the politician keyword? Doesn't have leadership. Should have gotten it. there's quite a few figures that don't have leadership. I really like. What was it? Man, I'm trying to blink. I don't know. I feel like that's a really broad question. There's a ton of figures that should have leadership that don't. Um, in comic books, TV shows, or movies are best, worst, and favorite politician or leader. Why? I don't watch a lot of TV, and not with You know, I'm not a big politics guy either. So like real life politics. So that being said, um, the I did watch a lot of what's that Kevin Spacey show on Netflix for a while. That guy, I think that guy is pretty scummy in the show, and you know, it's kind of a good show though. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it. Let's see. If that person was a pick, what issues should that person need to bring to WizKids? Oh, if you could elect a spokesperson from Heracles community to speak for WizKids, who would you nominate and why? Probably Kenny Pena. I think he's the best spoken and very neutral person for HeroClix, and I think he does a good job of seeing things from the player point of view, the collector point of view, but also from the business point of view. Because, you know, as much as we like to get upset about things with HeroClix, we need to understand that, you know, they are a business that are trying to make money. And so I think Kenny's a great spokesperson. He's a good ambassador for the game as a whole. And I think that's the reason he is where he is in the company right now. Should WizKids let HeroClix players vote for certain HeroClix characters? If so, how can you make it work? Yeah, I think that's always fun. They did that before. And I think that we got Beetle that way, which, although he ended up being, or Firefly, whatever his name is, which ended up being a really bad figure. But yeah, they've done that in the past, so I certainly would be okay with them continuing to do so. Now that questions are out of the way, HeroClix design insight. I should have had this pulled up, but I forgot to pull it up. Let's see, this is the dial or the article I want to hear or wanted to see, but let's see here. We have the Justice League Unlimited Team Up Cards first look. And so I've shared this link on the Facebook page for you guys to see yourselves. And it got brought up on another podcast on another page, how people didn't like this. I just thought we kind of go back and check it out. And so one of the things about this is that these cards, let's see, so we hope Team Up cards creating exciting moments for these players. Says within the set, players will find special Team Up cards they can utilize instead of a character's regular card, which will grant certain bonuses depending on how their team is built. They have Hawk Girl as an example, which is Team Up 45.06 and Team Up 45.11. So it says with the Team Up cards, so these are both rares. Well, what it is it's the same sculpt with a different card. I think the same powers, just different like traits and special powers. So like one has Charge Flurry and they both have Charge Flurry, but they have just different traits based upon who they team up with. Like Team Up Green Arrow, or Team Up Superman, Green Lantern, or Dr. Fate, Aquaman, Amazo, or Vixen. They just do different things based on who they're teamed with and which card you decide to use. And I see people talking about how HeroClix is becoming a collectible card game instead of collectible miniature, and have multiple miniatures with the same card or different cards. And I kind of talked about this on a recent episode and kind of predicted that I thought something like this would happen when visible dials became a thing, both originally and then now that your opponents are allowed to look at them. And I likened it to Dice Masters in the way where, um, in Dice Masters uh, you can pull like Lex Luthor, for example, and there's a common, uncommon, and rare, super rare type Lex Luthor, and it's the same die, but so the die is always the same, but you have a different card that does a different thing. And I kind of thought that would be the case with HeroClix, and this kind of feels that way, although it is the same rarity. So you have like two of the same figure, and so it's not like there's 30 sculpt. There's gonna be like 30 sculpts in the set, and there's gonna be like 90 cards. But as an example, and that kind of feels like what this is. So I feel like a little validated in that concern. Now, whether that's a good or bad thing or not, I don't know. I'll wait to see exactly how the set plays out, how the distribution looks, and I think it's kind of a brave experiment for WizKids. Um, and I kind of get what they're getting at by doing so. Um, so I just want to encourage people to kind of reserve their judgment until they actually see the set and how it comes out, because HeroClix nowadays is kind of in a spot where they're every set release people want to run that this and claim that the sky is falling. I see a lot of that with the Ultron. Ultron's like, oh, power creep, power creep, power creep, power creep. I'm like, he has a 14 attack. Yes, that's really high. He does have 3 stop clicks. Okay, yeah. We've seen that before, but not at such length for the point cost. Um, Unimind has 3 stop clicks, but he's 300 points. But we do have like Wolverine. Wolverine's 150 points, has 3 stop clicks. He does a lot of really good stuff. He does not have a 14 attack, but he does have a 12. He does have Charge Flurry and Sidestep, and he can hit again for free, and he has Perplex, and he gives you free leadership, and he gives you a free ID card. It's like, that's a lot that Wolverine can do at the same point cost. And the only difference is he doesn't have a 14 attack. Ultron is very hittable. He does have good keywords, whereas Wolverines are not as easily combined into theme teams. But Wolverine can come on ID card. Ultron, he has a really good trait where he can give you a mobile, but he has to hit you first. And with things like stealth, he does not see through stealth. WWE, he cannot range you, so he has to actually get next to you. And then WWE has Finn Balor, who can, turn off his defense powers. You can just whack through him in one turn. I think people will find that while there may be a small amount of power creep, it is not the sky is falling the way that players were kind of concerned about. So again, I really wanted to talk about the design insight just to kind of get that out there, because I think too much of complaining about power creep is bad for the game and things like that. So I just kind of want to remind people that there is a lot of work that goes into these sets, and this isn't just me like, being on WizKids. I've had a lot of criticisms of WizKids in the past, and even still, like I pulled a broken chase yesterday. From my past experience, I know that I'm not going to send that chase in to get it replaced, so I just bought some glue and glued it. It sucks, but it is what it is. I give criticisms when they're fair and justified, and I don't think in this situation they are fair or justified. So that's it. But anyways, I hope you guys like the information I gave you about the show today. I hope you guys kind of like what I'm trying to do with the look of the show. I will continue to work on it and get better, and I'll continue to provide updates about my work, my changes at work and things of the sort as they come up. As you can see in the graphic, those are the ways you can find the show, as well as our WordPress, which I forgot to put on there. Which is wordpress.com/2clicksfromko. So again, feel free to write in, give a suggestion, feedback is welcome, and thanks for listening. And until next time, remember, the real fun begins when you're 2 clicks from KO.